Now let the beat ride.
Welcome everybody to episode 9 of Hi Chicago. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Let me see how everybody's doing real quick. First, I'm your boy Sean. I'm gonna kick it to my boy Joshua Vincent.
Hey,
JV, how you feeling, bro? What's good? How you been?
I'm doing really good. I want to tell y'all something. So I got this brand new high fancy microwave, right? Where when you push the popcorn button,
Oh my god!
you don't necessarily. I just want to tell everybody this real quick. You don't even.
Stop giving Act 2 free publicity, boy.
Oh, my bad. I was supposed to tape it up. All right, put the little sensor box right there. All right, so you don't have to even know what the settings is. You know them ghetto microwaves that y'all all own because y'all poor. You probably got to type in 125 or 125. But like when you higher class, middle class like myself and my tax bracket, it weighs the bag. And then the microwave go beep, 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 and then it just spins around in a circle. And when it's done popping,
you got money.
I'm saying when it's not popping, I mean the very last.
You ain't upgraded your mic yet, though.
I was just gonna say, so now that you've upgraded your popcorn quality, when you gonna upgrade that mic?
It's man out here spending money on mic, bro.
Now, see, behind the scenes, what the people don't know, it took Maryclaire 45 minutes to get her situation together. Now she still got AirPods, but now she want to try to throw me under the bus. It's cool though, Sean. I'm doing great to answer your question.
It's not my bad that I can get my quality together.
There you go.
You could.
All right, so MC, how's it going? Right, you got some mic issues, you got some Wi-Fi issues, you got a lot going on. We saw your weave on the ground earlier before we started recording the show. What's up?
I mean, I'm good now. I was frustrated earlier, but I'm good now. I would just like to say that yes, I still have Wi-Fi problems. Yes,
but you flirted with the Comcast rep for an hour and a half.
I did, and we got disconnected because of my shitty internet connection, and I'm so pissed.
Damn
but
shame.
yeah, me and the Comcast man, Javi or whatever his name was, we literally talked for like an hour about the show, and then he was like, "Oh, what's the name of your channel?" I was like, "Make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe." And then we got disconnected before we fixed my problem. He did subscribe though. Shout out.
Well, you need to call him back and say,
"How am I supposed to call him back?"
Find his rep number or something.
Something.
You know his name?
Yeah, his first name.
All right, I'm sure there's not that
but
many.
Right now you can't call. It can only be virtual chat because of the way it's set up now to help customers.
Can we get you an air conditioner? Because you look like you hot over there.
Bro, if anybody out there wants to help support Maryclaire, please.
She's going through a struggle.
She's going through a lot right now. You said you had some good news, though. What's the good news?
Oh, now you want to know my good news.
Well, yeah, you took an hour and a half to set up prior to the show, so we didn't care at that point. Now we care.
Yeah, now we care.
Well, I was just trying to share this good news with y'all. I don't think anyone else is going to care.
We care. That's enough.
I just found out today that I got selected to host the vice president of my Starbucks region.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
yeah.
That's solid. That's solid. That's solid.
So when you say host, like, what do you mean? Like, they're going to come in for
So pretty much they come to my store. No, they come to my store for the whole day. They come to my store for the whole day, and they get to talk with my baristas, me, my team, and review my performance. It's really cool. Because I was just talking to my boss about promoting up higher within the company because I also just started my graduate degree. So it's pretty exciting.
That's good shit.
Congratulations, MC.
Figure out what you got to do to get a raise, because what you got going on right now is not working.
Right. Exactly.
Aaron, what's up, big homie?
1 week until, well, I guess 5 days now until I turn 30.
Hey.
Oh.
Have a good time in Chicago.
I feel you.
So I don't know how this is gonna work out, but
you should probably buy a mask then. You got 5 days.
And it's like $3 anywhere. If you can buy some popcorn, you can buy a mask, in my opinion.
Exactly. You out here buying
If you
shit
can buy
water,
a microwave that can weigh your popcorn and tell that it's popcorn, you can buy a mask.
Stop being a broke.
Microphone.
You're right. That's true.
As far as I'm concerned, when you guys watch South Park, like now or back in the day?
Yeah, I watched it
when
back
I was
in the
younger,
day.
for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm on my lunch break, and I picked a random episode, and it happened to be the episode where Randy Marsh goes on Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are familiar with that episode? Okay, bet. So for the people that don't know about this episode, at the end of Wheel of Fortune, you have to guess the puzzle, right?
Yeah.
And so Randy, the title was People Who Annoy You.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the letters that were exposed were N blank GGERS.
Oh, I wonder what that could have been.
So he had to guess what kind of people annoy you to try to win the grand prize. And the letter that this man selected was an I. And everybody in the crowd was shook. 6 years ago when I saw that one, I was shook. And it's on TV. Now, the correct answer was naggers.
Yeah.
That's people who annoy you. But the fact that that aired 6 years ago, I was thinking about what that would look like if it aired today.
Now, that was crazy. I don't know if you remember when it was a black guy was the cameraman, and when
he just looked at him, bro.
They all looked at him. And then when Randy said the word, they had showed the camera. Everybody was shocked in the audience, and then the people in South Park was looking like everybody was very upset that man said that.
And this man was so excited and so enthusiastic when he gave that answer, bro.
Oh
my God,
I'm
bro.
gonna fuck him up with this one.
Yeah.
But in 2020, Aaron, are they canceled or is this going to be playable?
No. I don't think South Park cares. Truly.
At all.
They continue to push the envelope as much as they possibly can. So they'll
That's
keep
like the whole point of South Park, though. People watch South Park because it's inappropriate, and they like how inappropriate it is because it's actually like truthful to today's society. It's one of those, it's on reality.
And that had me crying and laughing 6 years ago. I cried laughing a couple of days ago.
And you cried laughing
South
today.
Park is wild. So let's dive into the episode. Okay.
Cool.
I want to touch on what's going on with the whole Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, August Alsina saga. Because in my mind, based on everything I read, I felt the story was overhyped, kind of overrated. Because from my understanding, 4.5 years ago when Jada had a relationship with August, her and Will were separated. Okay? So if you're separated, then who you do what with doesn't matter to the other person. Or at least it shouldn't matter to the other person because you got to separate it, right? So I guess I want to ask JV, why was this such a big deal? Because allegedly, August said Will gave permission. Okay, Will denied that. Allegedly, there was some lyrics in one of August's songs that said also that Will gave him permission. Again, there was no proof either way. So I guess, why is such a big deal, JV? And do you believe Will or August also?
Oh, well, okay. So if you follow Hollywood, one of the number one reasons why it was such a big deal is because Will and Jada is they're like a power couple, if you will. So for the people that may not understand, they are like Jay-Z and Beyonce on the entertainment side. Will is one of the most prominent black actors. Jada, obviously a very prominent black actress. And they've been together since way, way back in the day when we were shorties, right? So, in the black community, and you may even remember, I think it was a J. Cole lyric where he was talking about you want that Will and Jada love. So, they were like the thing. Now, you're right. They were separated, but they were not divorced. So it's a difference there. They were separated, but they were not divorced. And so why this is such a big deal is because August Alsina was like a friend of one of their kids, basically. And so they brought in August as I don't want to use the term charity case, but he had a lot going on as far as drugs and, again, young guy coming into Hollywood from New Orleans, just a lot of, just was a misguided youth, if you will. Obviously, he was 17, but, he was just misguided. So he was brought in like that. And so for Jada and Will, we've always heard them to have like this open marriage, if you will, where it's like Will, if he wanted to, have somebody, he could, but then he would always check and balance with Jada and vice versa. But this was a situation where Jada didn't say anything. So her and Og, as she called them, they were in this entanglement. You know what I'm saying? They were in this little situation. And then
Maryclaire, stop it, please.
They were in this entanglement, and so years later, Og did this interview and just brought it up out of nowhere. Like you would have thought this happened yesterday, the way he was talking about it. How you doing? And so you might notice that my voice is changing a little bit, but I'm gonna just stay with the topic. So
spill the tea, huh?
I'm spilling the tea. How you doing? So,
all right, Wendy.
Yeah, so comes out here and he's tell everybody how he feels about the situation. And then from there, Jada, we was like, well, come to the table. We want to hear all about it. And you can see it in Will's face. He was clearly hurt, obviously. But at the end of the day, that Hollywood love is something totally different. So it wasn't that it was just like, oh, this was overhyped. Like, I feel like if you really into like Hollywood, like this was the biggest thing. I mean, they were talking about it on CNN, Good Morning America. Like this was breaking news pretty much.
So you watch morning shows is what you say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the morning show, so
I mean that's fine.
Yeah,
no one's watching in Iowa, but Aaron, go ahead.
No, I think it was overhyped. Well, I don't think it was overhyped. I think it was hyped as it was because, like JV said, they were this power couple, especially in the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people took that and ran with it on Black Twitter, which I am a frequent visitor of.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that seemed to get the most pub during that time, or I guess when she got to the table, was that word entanglement. I don't know why that was such a big topic of discussion that she would say the word entanglement instead of relationship, or let's call it what it was. They're probably just fuck buddies, truthfully.
Because it was messy.
It was messy. Can I say
that's why she said that entanglement shit was messy.
Did you see Will's reaction? Like, that's what made it so messy. Because she was just like, and so I got into an entanglement with Og. And Will was like, entanglement?
Entanglement? Let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is.
That's what we're calling it.
Come on now. When have you ever heard somebody say, yeah, me and my F-buddy? We are having entanglement. Come on now. People was actually Googling.
No, that was the first time I was like, what the hell is she talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, I give her props. I don't know if she invented that word entanglement or not, but it sounded nice.
It was trending on Twitter for sure.
And y'all know, Sean, entanglement season starts in August. You get it.
Lord have mercy.
Oh my God, MC, we haven't heard from you yet. Oh, give us something on this topic. What you got?
I think it's kind of unfair that they both got publicity in the way that they did because
Will and Jada and August.
Yeah, I mean mostly Will and Jada, but when you think of the whole concept of her show, the what is it called, Red Table or
Red
Table
Talk?
Yeah.
Red Table Talk. I mean, the whole point is to talk about things that are uncomfortable. Like it's a red table, it stands out. We're gonna make this big motion right now. We're gonna talk about something. And that's the whole point of the conversation. So for anyone to sit there and like judge them based off whatever they talk about, it's kind of like, okay, well, we're talking about it because we're trying to bring it to the light. It needs to be talked about. It needs to be just like let off your chest type of thing. So I just feel like it's kind of judgmental for people to be like judging her. Will is allowed to have feelings, and people are like, oh, it's obvious that he was upset, but we don't know their relationship. So I'm just like, you know what? Whatever this entanglement was, obviously they're still together, and maybe Will didn't know 100%, but maybe that's because that was the terms of their separation. Not many people when they separate want to know everything, and that's nobody's fault. And if you find out 10 years later, then I mean, are you really allowed to point fingers at one another and blame? I just don't see the point.
I mean, but it has to be some type of rules of engagement, right? I mean, like, okay, if the way I understood the situation, Og was like this family friend.
Stop calling this man Og, bro. You don't know him.
Just call him August Alsina.
That's what we call him. His name is Og.
Who's we?
Me and Jada. So the point that I'm saying, like, we cool like that. So, when Og, he came in as a family friend, like was real cool with their son. So that's kind of like almost sleeping with your friend, homie. I think that's kind of like can cross them a little bit.
He's not their son. He's not a blood relative.
I mean,
so
I didn't say he's their son. I'm saying their son's
that's
friend.
incest. That's weird.
Yeah, that gets to a different subject.
Right. I said their son's friend. That's the issue.
Why is that an issue, though?
Let's say we reverse the roles.
Friend?
Let's say we reverse the roles. Let's say Will had an entanglement with one of Goddamn, I can't.
Willow's homegirl.
One of her homies. Because what's Willow? 18? Was she?
Yeah.
Is it the age of consent?
No, I'm saying it's believable she'd have like a 20-year-old friend. Would you be okay with that situation? Under the guise of taking the person in and trying to help them with their mental issue.
Same situation, I think yes.
So wait, let me ask you this question, MC. So if you had, if you and the guy were married, right, and y'all get separated, and you got a homegirl let's say y'all had a kid, and y'all kid got a homegirl that's like 18, 19 years old. Y'all took this person in like as a not like a rescue mission, if you will. You telling me that you're gonna be totally fine with your estranged husband, I guess at the time, banging somebody y'all brought in like a rescue mission, like a you know?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, yeah, it sounds kind of messed up, like especially when you're putting it that way. But like at the end of the day, they're all adults. It happened. Like there's nothing like, oh my God, that's so messed up. Like I think it's real, like you said. I think it's over dramatized. I think it's a little far fetched. I don't know.
I mean, maybe y'all don't pay attention to Hollywood. I just say this. I know Black Twitter, and Aaron can back me up on this. I have not cried so hard as ever. I mean, when I tell you, I thought I didn't know Twitter was that quick. I mean, I knew it was quick. But I mean, they had the remix to Entanglement, and I mean,
yeah, bro,
I was just like, this is wild. Then they had the Jamaican version when the man was like, "You got into the Entanglement." Like, it was crazy. I was just like, Black Twitter, y'all got to chill. And then everybody started saying, "Well, Entanglement season started in August." And then what was so messy, and Aaron, I don't know if you peeped this, but Keke Palmer, I think that's her name. She was tweeting about the situation. Now, if you remember, her and Org, they used to be seen in photos together all the time, right? How you doing?
Okay.
And so she had made some tweets about the situation. Org quote tweeted her and basically dragged us to fifth. How you doing? So it was so messy. Like, I was just sitting there like, they're at the table. You got Will and Jada cracking up, laughing, talking about some bad boys, bad girls, bad marriage for life. All of that. You get Org over here in his feelings, dragging Keke Palmer. I just was like, Twitter is too much. I was just like, Jake, shut it down. How you doing? Because I can't do this right now.
Why wouldn't they, or any celebrity, if you're gonna have an entanglement, okay, no problem, have like some sort of NDA discussed at some point in time. To me, that makes the most sense.
But that's the problem.
I would do.
Like we said, Will, obviously this was him learning about it, correct?
Yeah, but not Will. Jada should have covered herself by having that taken care of, because otherwise August wouldn't have said nothing. None of it would have came out. Everybody would have been cool. He decided to run his mouth for whatever reason. JV, what was the reason he even brought this guy up?
So it's a lot of speculation. Some people are saying he had an album that came out. And so some people were saying, well, maybe he was trying to do a little, puff for his album or whatever. But it was very confusing as to what made that come out, because nobody really understood that. That's the part that even Jada and Will, if you saw the episode of the Red Table Talk, they even talked about that. Like, this happened 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah. Why it became news today, they didn't even understand it themselves. It's not like, I was about to say, do people even read the tabloids? But it's not like, you go to the grocery store and you saw Jada and Og in the photo together and you're like, wait, what's going on? Nowadays, it's Instagram right there. I'm showing my age here talking about the tabloids. But, it's not like we saw a picture of them on Instagram, for the young people that's watching. It's not like we saw a picture of them on the gram of them doing something, on TikTok together. It wasn't none of that. It was just like, out of nowhere, just started talking about, I was in love with Jada. And Sean, that's what made it even more messier. How you doing? How he over here talking about he in love, and she talking about, I was in an entanglement. I mean, come on, man. That, how disrespectful that is to say you love somebody, but then they hit you back with, we just in an entanglement. That was wild.
Always messing with feelings.
So whose side are you on? Because it sounds like you're really hurting for Og right now. But at the same time, like, what if this was just a fling and he's just jealous because he ain't Will?
Well, okay, I'm not as far as on side. I'm always on the messy side. How you doing? So I'm on the other side. You know me. I love messy.
My Lord.
So I'm always on the messy side. But as far as how I feel bad for Og, but at the same time, Og brought this onto himself because I don't believe that you should kiss and tell. I'm the type where if I'm gonna dip out, do my thing, I'm not gonna tell everybody in the world like, oh yeah, we did something. Like somebody I just saw on Facebook was talking about Tiffany Haddish. I forget what guy it was, but he was saying, oh yeah, me and Tiffany Haddish had something going on. It's just like I don't rock like that. Like if you and somebody do something, y'all do y'all thing, I bet. But don't be sitting up there as, spilling tea, especially when it's unsolicited. Now, if y'all mad at each other and they doing you bogus, okay, if you want to be mean to evil, cool. But don't be sitting up here, y'all know Tiffany Haddish, yeah, me and her, we did whatever. Or like, Jada, we were in love. Like, come on, bro. You too old for that.
So let me ask you this, right? So that brought up conversation around like open relationships, like open marriages, right? And in 2020, I'm seeing that more and more, whether it's celebrities, whether it's people that I know. Yeah. So I kind of want to talk about that and just get you guys' opinion on that. So for me, depending on the circumstances behind the choice to have an open relationship, an open marriage, like I could see it. Some people think, no, that's wrong as fuck. It's weird. No. So I think there's no one specific scenario to where it's blanketly like it's okay. But I know couples that have been married for years, right? Yeah. Multiple couples, married, kids, miserable. If they said, hey, we want to have an open relationship, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense, right? Or an open marriage, I guess, either one. Open relationships don't make as much sense as open marriages do, because if you're in a relationship, you could just break up.
Right. It's you
go your step away.
Yeah.
But marriage is a little bit different, right? So Maryclaire, I want to hear from you, right? Your thoughts on open relationship.
I disagree with that.
Which part?
I disagree with the whole why do you think it's more okay? Why does it not make sense if you're in a relationship to have it open?
Because you're just dating. You have no obligation to this person on paper.
Right. Because Maryclaire, think about it. When you're married,
that's kind of the point to a relationship, though, is, you're still figuring things out. So, I mean, me personally, if I was in a relationship and things were going a certain way, and I mean, I have experience with this, but if I was like, yo, maybe we should try an open relationship, try other things, because at the end of the day, you can come back to each other and you still have each other, and it doesn't have to feel like a breakup when,
Wait, hold on, hang on.
Cheated.
Time out.
Wait, can I throw the flag? Hold on. Can I throw 5-yard penalty?
Experience with what specifically? What are you referring to? Just so I'm clear.
Kind of like I guess, trying new things with somebody you're quote unquote in a relationship or a couple with, and you're not necessarily glued to only one person.
Wait, no,
I've been in like an open relationship before, so I feel like it makes sense news. To try something like that.
Okay, so tell us more.
Yeah,
like how did that even come about?
Well, I guess when you're young, and I mean, I consider myself, I'm still really young. I still consider you guys really young. So if one of you was like, hey, I think we're going to try, being in an open relationship, I would be like, go for it, because you learn more about yourself. You learn more about the person you're with, quote unquote. And, you just discover more things about yourself sexually that you probably wouldn't experience if you were just glued to one person and you do the same thing every single time necessarily.
I have so many questions. I don't even know what it's for. but
I'm being honest.
No.
Think about how difficult it would be to try an open relationship for the first time if you started when you were married. What if you did it when you were married and you were like, dang, there's a lot of things I don't like about what's going on, and there's a lot of things I do like what's going on over here.
So so here is my thought process. Sean, I think when the whole married thing, I think it's more common when you hear the term open marriage or whatnot, because again, they're so financially tied together. You look at Jada and Will, they are they have a mega economy together, if you will. Like their bank accounts, I bet if you look at it, it's crazy. So for them to file a divorce, you think about all the money they got to talk about, assets splitting up, real estate, that kind of a thing. So to me, what I'm understanding of their relationship is, and even they said that they have a life partnership, it seems like in the end of the day, illegally on paper, they gonna make that money. That Red Table Talk, it got over 20 million views. It ain't too many TV
shows.
But
let's say the couple's not balling like them.
Okay.
It's just a normal ass couple. Talk about that.
Okay, I'm gonna get to that. Give me a second. So I'm saying I can understand that, and even a couple that's not balling, it could be just two people working, your regular jobs, making $40,000-$50,000 a year, whatever. It's still, if they got shared bank accounts, they got car notes in the same names, if they got all those things, it's not as easy to just say, I'm done with you. Boom, I'm gone. You see what I'm saying? Like it's
more than just money too. It also has to do with your literal relationship with that person. Like, how long have you been with that person? If this was something you did for a couple months, it's not really a big deal to some people. But if this is something you did with somebody for years, like, you trust that person, you now lost that trust. You love that person. It's kind of hard for you to love them still. Like, there's a lot more involved than just money. Things that you build over a long period of time with somebody. When you decide to do things sexually with them, with other people, you are making yourself so vulnerable as an individual and as a couple, which makes it almost twice as hard.
Well, I can agree to that. I would say this, though. I think a lot of younger people don't know the difference between being in a relationship and dating around. I think when you think about what dating is when you're supposed to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to, Mary and I, we're going to go on this date on Tuesday. We fuck whatever. That's cool. Next week I'm meeting a girl named Jasmine. That's where you can get around, get the chance to know other people, meet all these other people. I feel like if you in a relationship, like I love you, you love me, I trust you, you trust me. If we are at the point of our relationship where I'm talking about, let's bring in fourth wheels, fifth wheels, sixth wheels, and we ain't talking about like, oh, it's my I'm just saying, we ain't talking about, oh, it's my birthday, so we're going to try a threesome, if you will. Like, this is some...
What?
Yeah, I'm just saying, some people do that. I had a homeboy in college that did that down in Louisiana. It was his birthday, and his girl was like, I got something for you. And he was like, what you got for me? Oh, let me not do his voice. But the point that I'm making is, that's what they did. How you doing? If you watching, how you doing? Ooh.
And then, Aaron, I want you to chime in a second, bro.
Yeah, go ahead, Aaron. But I was just going to say, yeah, that's just crazy.
As far as the concept of open relationships versus open marriage, I kind of see your point, Sean, where it's like not as connected because you're in a relationship and there is no sort of piece of paper that says you have to stay with this person. But at the same time, there still can be the same bond in a relationship as there is in a marriage. And when it comes to an open relationship, the thing you have to sort of consider is this right for both of you guys? Is one person going to get attached outside of this relationship to the point where the relationship no longer is feasible or viable, right? So in my opinion, open relationships can work as long as there are boundaries that are set beforehand.
But it's the same thing with a marriage.
No. I was talking about, when I say relationship, I am referring to both marriage and outside of marriage.
Oh.
I'm single. Somebody tell me, what's the purpose of being in an open relationship?
Let Maryclaire talk to that.
Maryclaire, let me ask you a few questions. How you doing? Directly.
Okay.
How you doing? We at the red table talk. Let's act like Aaron is trying to.
Could you ask the question, please, bro?
Just get to the question,
sorry.
man.
We don't want to get sued. We at the brown table. How you doing? So I just want to know.
Oh,
so
Jesus
you said
Christ.
that you had an open relationship. I mean, spill tea. What do you mean you had an open relationship? Are you saying that it was a guy and he was like, hey, I'm about to go and do me with Susie Ann down the road?
Nope, that's not what I'm saying at all. Nope.
Okay, what's what, girl?
I'm saying I got to a point in my life where I felt like I wasn't experiencing enough or as much. And so the person I was with, I was like, you know what? Maybe we should try more things, not just
this
with
is your idea.
only each other. Yeah, it was my idea. Not just with, other people separately, because obviously if that was the case, we might as well just break up. But I was like, why not try things and discover together? Like, do it together, not alone. Because if you do it alone, you might as well be breaking up and going and seeing other people. And there's the excitement factor.
Girl, get straight to the point. So you said you was doing threesomes with other females. He was running trains with his homeboy. Come on, talk to us. How you doing?
No, hold on, JV.
Don't be
before JV
disrespectful.
makes it messy. Yeah, before JV gets messy, disrespectful. there are classier ways to go about things, like a swingers club, things like that.
I literally just spoke with my mom about this the other day on the phone, and it was so heartfelt. And I'm like, I wish I could have had this talk with my mom when I was like 14, 15. And most people are like, oh no, people that young, they don't need to talk like that because it puts ideas in their ear. If somebody told me things about discovering myself sexually at a younger age, maybe I would have been a different person. Maybe I would have, tried different things. I don't know. Not necessarily saying I'm going to go out there and get pregnant with just any old guy. But I mean, everyone experiences sex differently, and people are too scared to talk about it. People are like, oh no, you can't talk about sex. Like, why not? I literally told my mom the other day, I'm the youngest of 6, and there's 5 of us girls, and not a single person talked to me about sex. I was in the dark until I went off to high school, and then almost completely in the dark until I went to college, and I was like, dang. Like, I just feel like kids aren't exposed to enough, and we think they are. And
JV,
that's
hold
why
on.
we're like, we got to be quiet.
For Aaron. Aaron, question for you, bro. So basically what Maryclaire is saying, right? I'm just going to assume that she maybe did it like a different way, like a swingers club way, right? Just an assumption. Throw that out there, right?
She could tell us
Aaron,
right there.
I mean,
I know she wanted to.
I've been to one before. Yeah.
So what is that like? I mean, I'm just confused. I'm not trying to take
JB,
over.
Go ahead.
On one right now.
No. I'm not being messy. Just so for the audience, I'm not being messy. None of that. I'm just trying. This is what new to me, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers want to know. So, Maryclaire, please talk as vaguely as you can. We don't want you to spill all your business. We can do that off camera.
I mean, I wouldn't do that. I'm not a messy person.
As far as me, I'm single. I noticed a lot of other people. This is like all new to them because even when we heard about Will and Jada in a relationship, people were like, "What is that?" So can you kind of explain to the people when you say you try new things, you guys experience new things? What exactly were those new things? What exactly did you guys try?
It didn't even necessarily have to be we had to go try something and be physical. It necessarily sometimes meant going and talking with people about sex, asking questions, talking about, well, what do you guys do? Or this is how we do. And some people are like, that's ridiculous. Why would you ever want to talk about what happens in the bedroom? Sometimes you start talking about things and you'd be surprised what you think of, what you hear, what you learn. Or some people are like, I've never thought to try that before. You would be so surprised because these are the things you don't learn. You're not taught this. So how else are you going to learn it without 1, doing it with another person, and then 2, asking other people who also do it together? It just makes sense.
I don't think nothing is wrong with that. So, Sean and
Eric,
I
don't either.
I don't think nothing is wrong with that because, like, I'm looking at it like this is just. And again, I'm single. I thought that's what couples do. I thought like if I was married and I knew some other married people, like how some of y'all are married and we all having a conversation. Oh, have y'all tried this? Oh, we tried that. I just thought that's what couples or married people do. But the way you were talking was like it wasn't.
Now,
like,
JV, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that I didn't go to these clubs and I didn't do things sexually. I'm also not saying that.
Okay,
but I'm not going to sit here and tell you every little thing I did. I mean, that's kind of that's extremely messy.
Yeah,
if you want to know that, you
can
call me after
it's okay.
the show.
It's okay.
But I'm just saying. Those are opportunities that are open for people to try those things. And I don't necessarily view it as wrong. And I feel like if a couple is willing to go into something like to get that together, it's only showing your strengths and weaknesses. And what's wrong with that?
Did it bring you and this person closer together? Do you feel as far as relationship
It did.
goes? Okay.
It did.
So now let me ask you a question from a different point of view, right? Aaron, do you think it'd be weird if a male or female did what Maryclaire did, but single?
No, I don't think that at all. Sometimes couples want to spice up their relationship and they sometimes only want a single person rather than to do it with couples.
Yeah.
It seems more difficult based on just my thought process.
Oh, no, it probably would be much more difficult. I would imagine. I have no experience with that, honestly. And Maryclaire seems like she might be able to.
Right. Yeah, go
This is
ahead.
a Maryclaire episode.
Go ahead.
100% of Maryclaire.
We are in
No, I mean,
advanced like, this category. How you doing?
No, I mean, honestly, like I'm not trying to sound like this overly sexualized person. It's just I'm very honest with myself, and that's what makes me happy with my life. I feel like if you could truly love yourself and be honest with yourself with somebody and be accepted all around, then that's like the perfect mix for a happy life. But I mean, being a single person and going into one of those clubs, I I feel like as somebody who was committed as a couple going into that, that's more difficult to let a single person join what you already have with somebody else, knowing that they're coming in alone. So those kinds of things, I'm kind of like, not really interested in that. I was more like, okay, I want to get to know other couples. I want to talk to them about the same kind of issues me and my partner have, like those kinds of things. But it all depends on, I guess, your purpose going in. I mean, some people could very well be going into those clubs just purely to find a third partner or something, but that's their thing, not mine.
I have one last question. So I guess when you're in a situation like that, and I'm sure all our viewers are wondering in this as well, so how is it possible for somebody to cheat on the other person? So let's say I have a girlfriend, right? My girlfriend and I, we go to these clubs, we're chilling, we're meeting other couples, we're bringing in other people in our situation. Mm-hmm. Everything being so mixed together, how does a situation present itself where my girlfriend now stepped out on me because she had an entanglement, or I stepped out on her because I have an entanglement? Where are the rules of regulations, I guess?
Well, when you're in a relationship with somebody, the whole point is communication and talking with each other. So obviously, if things are not communicated or talked about, and that's the whole point of the line. The line is, when you have an open relationship, you're open to trying new things, talking about new things together with one another, with other people. So if you draw the line at, okay, well, I want to try other things with other people, but not tell my significant other, that's not like cheating,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I will say it can get messy though, because, I have come across some couples who are like so warmed up to the idea of, oh no, we let each other sleep with other people behind closed doors. And I'm like, well, what's the point of your relationship then? Because now you're just sleeping with other people behind each other's backs. That's a lot different, I feel. I mean, like I said, every couple has their own purpose going into these things. Maybe some people enjoy the thrill of not knowing, or the catch factor, or whatever you want to call it. It's just different for everyone.
And I'll say, Sean, that brings the conversation back around full circle when you start off with Jada and Will. So if Jada and Will had what Maryclaire was just talking about, this open relationship where there were rules of engagements, if you will, and then Jada stepped out and started talking with Og, and Will didn't know. That's why Og said, yeah, and that's why Og is saying, well, Will gave permission, and he was like, wait a minute, that ain't
now on the
happened.
other hand, JB, like we said, we don't know if Will was like, well, whatever you do during our separated time, I don't want to know about it. Some guys are like that. Some guys are like, you know what, while we're separated, I don't want to know what dude you fucked with, because I want to have a clear conscience when I'm with you, and that's okay. But if this just came out all of a sudden, she can't control that either. And Will's allowed to be upset because of the way he found out, but that goes back to, if they were going to do that, they should have did the NDA or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
And that's why I say, I try not to be conservative, but see, that's why you should be evenly yoked.
Says the conservative.
Break out that Bible, me and my girl. All that evilness Maryclaire speaking on, away from me.
Oh my God.
Get behind me, Satan. Ooh,
so this is what I'm gonna say to kind of conclude this part of the conversation. Number one, I don't know about everybody listening, but I'm shook right now by Maryclaire.
I'm not. Maryclaire. She always. No, I'm not. I'm not.
I didn't say it wasn't good content. It's good content. I'm just throwing off.
Oh no, I'm not shook. Maryclaire's always been freaky. How you doing?
Sean's just very conservative too. Shit.
Right, Sean's very conservative. Maryclaire,
it's not about being freaky. It's about being honest and having the balls to talk about it.
And being freaky.
No, respect.
That's
respect shouldn't be.
But yeah.
So
sex shouldn't be taboo.
That's it. So before we hit the rapid fire, next week is episode 10. How you guys feel about going live for show 10? Let's run it back. Provided Maryclaire's Wi-Fi is in order.
Yeah.
Maybe I can reconnect with my Comcast dude and we can make it happen.
That's the thing, Sean. Y'all talk about my microphone, but we got Maryclaire with expensive microphones. Wi-Fi don't work. She ain't got no air conditioner.
But your mic quality, actually, JB, is not horrible. It's not like compared to Maryclaire's whole setup. You know what I'm saying? It's not that bad. You need something for your background on your wall. Other than that, you're good. But Maryclaire, it's going to be up to you whether we go live or not next week. Okay?
It's going to be up to Arthur if he decides to upgrade me.
Arthur.
The homie
Who's
Arthur,
Arthur?
you know what I'm saying? He's the one that's frying Maryclaire on Twitter every day.
Oh yeah.
He's the one who tried to start me a GoFundMe, so it's okay. I'm open. I am open to trying new things.
Clearly.
We found out.
Do that one. Tell someone we don't know.
Sean,
So,
tell him that's nothing new. How you doing? No,
I do not.
She opened.
But no, let's plan to go live next week. Let's talk to the people live. Let's connect with the audience. Maryclaire, don't drop the ball again. Let's hit this let's hit this rapid fire. JV, start with you. What you got for us?
I'm just gonna be real quick. How you doing, Maryclaire? Girl, you wasn't fooling nobody. But no, I think it works for everybody. It works for each his own. It may not work for me, but I feel like, hey, if that brings you closer and it spice up your relationship, how you doing? I mean, I told my parents, they're both over 60. I said, you know what? You all should do something new. And they looked at me and said, boy, please. So, hey, they've been married for almost 40 years. I don't even know if they even do anything. But I told them, I was like, y'all should try something new. And they was like, how you doing? And so,
I don't know.
All right.
I'm going to tell them, try the Maryclaire.
Tell us about his parents' sex life. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Maryclaire, what you got?
All I gotta say is, safe sex is great sex. And if you don't know the answers to your questions, ask somebody who can tell you. Don't be afraid to ask a question. I didn't have anyone tell me about sex or teach me about sex. That doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna fuck it up and make a mistake. I just think people have a better experience when they're open and honest about it. And I can't wait till I have kids one day so that I can be open and honest with them. That's
what
all
you
I gotta
say? Mommy used to throw it back to everybody at the club. How you doing?
I mean, would you rather me tell them that or tell them that I was busting it wide open at homecoming and I got pregnant with you?
I mean, either one.
I mean, okay then.
That felt like a shot.
Aaron, what you got, bro? I thought
know.
So.
I felt a little,
Oh God.
Oh, is that? Oh, never mind.
Oh.
Yeah. On July 18th, a legend was born.
Oh, here we go.
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
Nelson Mandela. No, I'm just fucking with you, bro.
I'm so sick of Aaron.
Birthday's in 5 days. I'm excited. I'm gonna finally be 30, and I'm gonna get.
Don't ask me to cash app you because I'm broke.
lightly drunk, and I'm gonna try my best to be safe. Lightly, sir.
Okay.
Just a little seasoned to drunk,
All right. You should go to one of those clubs Maryclaire went to. Everything goes down there. It goes.
That is not cheap.
And for your 30th, man, you might get, a little discount.
You might get a discount. So I'm gonna go on Google. Mary, what's the name of the clubs? You know it.
Jesus Christ.
Don't let JV in.
Wait, I heard one last thing, Sean, before you go. I heard when you go to the club and you pay the little fee, and they say, "Do you have a promo?" You gotta type in Maryclaire, and then you get 10% off. You be like Maryclaire. They be like, "Who referred you?" I be like, "Girl, Maryclaire referred me. How you doing?"
You're wild. So for me, my rap fire's got nothing to do with that or the topic.
With sex.
Baseball is back. Basketball is on the way back.
Baseball
we got our sports coming soon. What'd you say?
Sean, you can't.
Baseball sucks.
Sean, you can't. We over here
JV, you're not gonna talk to him about Tim Anderson and Javi Baez right now, bro?
No, because we're talking about sex and you talking about men. Last week you was talking about hot dogs.
So I can't talk about sports. Okay, got it.
Let's talk about bats and balls.
Wait,
bats and balls out here.
I'm be like,
so sports can't be celebrated right now. Is what you're saying?
No,
okay.
Before we go,
okay, that makes sense, JV.
Not during a sex conversation.
I just have a question.
But I said it had nothing to do with that, bro.
Last week you were
JV. You remind me of Donald Trump. You keep trying to flip the narrative to think that it's not. So listen, you MAGA supporter. I don't want to hear it.
I'm saying, as a journalist, Sean, let me be a journalist real quick before you go. Sean, last week you were talking about grown men swallowing hot dogs. This week, in the conversation about sex and everybody being open about their sex, you're talking about men swinging bats. I just want to know, for the record, is there something you want to tell us? How you doing?
Yeah, for the record, JV's got dumbass opinions on things that have nothing to do with anything. Can we put that down on the record? Anyways, in conclusion, listen, in conclusion, thank you guys for tuning in to episode 9. I apologize for Joshua Vincent and his line of questioning and his weird Wendy Williams voice. But leave comments about open marriages, open relationships, JV's Wendy Williams voice, Maryclaire and all she had to say. We appreciate you guys for your support. Ask questions. Again, leave comments. Hit that subscribe button.
Lord.
But until next time, Chicago. Peace out.
Peace out. Be safe, Chicago.